Hello guys, welcome to Bhavna's Online Academy. So in this video we are going to learn the chapter number 2 of EIS, which is the Financial and Accounting Systems. So this is a continuation video. Actually there is a part 1 of it which is already been uploaded, and this is the part 2 video, and this is your final part. So if you want to watch the part 1, I'll either link it in the I button here or will provide the link in the description box below, so you can check that out. And I would request you to first watch that and then move to this video. And in this video we have covered the entire ICI study material, so I hope it's useful for you also to refer, and hope you enjoy this lecture. So now let's get into the video, guys. So we learned what the risks and controls were, then we learned what were the issues in implementation. So all those we had learned in the previous class. Today we are going to learn, because we are CA professionals, okay, we are going to be CA professionals, so you have to know how to audit these ERP systems. How do you audit these ERP systems? Okay, so what basically happens is that, like I have already said, if there is a software system, information system, for that information system there will be general controls which are there. Okay, so you have to check whether those controls are working properly or not. As an auditor, you have to check whether the controls that are there on the ERP system are properly working or not. Example, if there is a control that a person has to have a login password to enter into ERP, and this is one control, then we have to audit and see whether this control is working fine or not. How will you audit this and see? What you can do is, maybe you can put a wrong login password and see, and if it doesn't get entered, then it's right. Okay, then it's working fine. If even though you have put a certain wrong password or a certain wrong login username, if it still gets entered you into, if it still enters you into the system, then that's a failure of control. So you have to check controls of the ERP system. Okay, so that checking of controls of ERP system is what we are, this is checking of controls of the ERP system. So this is what is known as the audit of ERP system. Okay, so here they tell you that controls can be divided into two. One is general controls and then is application control. So what is general controls and what is application controls? Is general controls are those controls which are which are applicable to all over the, which is applicable to all the information technology that is there in the company, not only to ERP, but other than ERP also they will have some technology, information technology, right? So including those, to all the information technology that is present in their company, all the softwares, this general controls will get applied. These general controls will get applied. Whereas if you see application controls are those controls which are specifically related to ERP, Okay. So general controls also, under general controls, see, if you can see general controls, these controls apply to all the systems which are there, right from mainframe to desktop. Okay, yes. So general controls can also be divided into two parts. One is management controls and the other one is environmental controls. So general controls, there are two types of controls. First, if you see at basic level, there are two types of control, general control and application control. In that, general control applies to all the information technology, whereas application controls are specific to ERP. Under general controls, again, there are two bifurcation. One is management control and the other one is environmental control. So management control, here what the controls are is, it is those controls, they are given by the management. These controls are in the forms of policies in the company or procedures in the company or the planning that they do in the company. For example, in a company, there might be a policy where they tell you that every single day, all the computers, all the desktops that are there in the company must be scanned. Daily scan must happen. So this is a policy that they have in the company. So this is a management control. The same way, if they tell you that if in any system, if there is any kind of errors or exceptions, you have to daily report it. So this daily reporting is also a policy in the company. So these controls are set up by the management. Okay, so these are management control which the management has set up. It may be the policies, procedures, and plannings, and so on. Okay, whereas next is environmental control. So environmental control means the control which are related to the operating systems, which are relating to your desktop or the operating system. Example, if you want to log in into a computer or a desktop, you will have a password. Correct. So related to the environment that the operating system is there, it is a built-in control of the operating system. Okay. Example, you have to log in to enter into the desktop. Okay. So these are the environmental control which are administered through computer center computer operation groups. You can tell that this is a management level control, whereas this is a operational level control. At bottom level, what controls you have put. Okay. Example, logging in with your passwords. Okay, so these are related to general controls. Now we'll talk about application controls. So application controls in general means that any app specific controls, if you have any app specific controls that you have, if in case for say this, we can tell that, for example, we can bifurcate general controls as if you want to enter into your mobile. Okay, like the lock screen, if you want to enter into your mobile from the lock screen, and whatever controls there you have, it may be a fingerprint or it may be a pattern. So if anything like that you have, that is a general control. Once you enter into your mobile phone, then you will have a few apps. Okay, like you have WhatsApp, you have your Instagram. For that app related specific control that you have is known as your application control. Okay, so now here, since we are specifically talking about ERP, so during an ERP audit, whenever you do an ERP audit, as that is for that application alone, there are a certain questions that you have to ask so that you know that whether the controls are in place or not. So here what you are going to do is you are going to catch hold of a person from the company, and you are going to cross question him and ask about all the controls that are there in the company and whether they are working fine or not, so that you know whether the controls are working good or not. And this is how you're going to do an audit and finally tell your opinion whether the controls are good or not. Okay, so what are the questions that an auditor should ask during an ERP audit is what we are going to understand now. Okay, so here first what you must ask is that whether the users who are using the ERP systems, are they trained? Do they have full knowledge of the ERP systems? Okay, and whatever how to use the ERP system, whether there is a complete and current documentation to it, so that any person or any user, if in case he has any doubts related to ERP system, he can go and refer to that. That is one. Second is, if in case in the usage of ERP, if there is any problem that arises, do you have a problem escalation process? Do you have a process where it is defined that if there a problem comes tomorrow, how do we escalate it to the top management? How does the people who should be informed about this problem are going to be informed? Do you have that problem escalation process? You have to ask them. Third, you have to ask whether there is role-based access in ERP or not, because we have already studied why it is important, because of two issues that role-based access controls are important. What are those two issues? If you can tell me, I'll be happy to hear. You can let me know in the chat box. Okay. Next, you have to ask them whether this ERP system is protected from unauthorized access or not. And then you have to ask them whether whatever data is there in this ERP, whether it is confidential, whether it has been protected, whether the integrity is there, and whether whatever data is there in the ERP, whether it is authentic, valid, and accurate. Okay. Yes. Next, you have to see whether the ERP system meets your own country's reporting format or not, because in India we have to report as per Schedule 3, or here what you can say, applicable financial reporting framework. You have to report according to that. So to report according to that, whether the system or the ERP is framed accordingly or not, whether your ERP system knows the gap, your generally accepted accounting principles and generally accepted accounting standards or not. Okay, whether the ERP system administrator who is there, the person who handles the ERP system, whether he has clearly defined all the responsibilities of all the employees in the companies or not. Okay, so like this, you have to ask all these questions during an ERP audit. So this you have to remember. You can remember any 6 to 7 points that you feel is easier for you to remember. Okay. Yes. So next, what are we going to study is the auditing aspect. So now we have understood what are the questions that you have to ask during an audit. Okay. So next we are going to study the auditing the auditing aspects related to ERP, auditing aspects which are related to ERP system. So when you audit an ERP, you are going to audit two things. When you are going to audit ERP, you are going to audit two things. One is you are going to audit the data that is there in the ERP, and second, you are going to audit the process itself. The process itself, how ERP works. Okay. So these are the two auditing that you're going to do. So if you usually see how ERP works is that you put input into ERP. Okay, you input the data into ERP, it processes the data and it gives you output. Output also it can give you in the form of reports, data or information. Okay. So whenever you receive an output, you must have you will have physical security there and you will have a logical access control there. So whether these two are working properly or not, you have to check. The same way, when you put an input, you have to validate the input, whether whatever input you are giving in, whether it is right or not, you have to validate it. Then when this data is being processed, you have to check whether the processing of data is working properly or not. Okay. So now if you see, now I told you that auditing of an ERP system has two aspects. One is auditing of the data. Next is auditing of the process. First, when you go and see auditing of data, like I said here, if you look into this, here you have two. One is physical safety. You have to check in access control. You have to check. You have to check whether do you have physical control over the data or not. And in terms of access control, you have to check whether there is role-based access control given related to that data or not, or whether everybody is able to view the end result. No, it should not be like that. It should be based on your roles. So when you audit the data, look for two aspects. One is physical safety, whether it is there or not. Second is whether the access control is proper or not. Okay. Next is when you're auditing the process. So when you're auditing the process also, you have two aspects that you have to keep in mind. One is functional audit, whether whatever functions are there in the ERP, or whether all the modules that are there in the ERP, whether it is working properly or not. Okay, so you have to test all the modules, different modules that are there in the ERP, and you have to test also the overall process of, or the working of overall ERP, whether it is process or not, proper or not. And you have to also check whether whatever the actual process is there, whether it is as per the standard working process of ERP or not. Okay. Next is you have to validate whatever input you give into the ERP. Okay. So here, example, you have to check whether the rules for input of data into the system. Example, now if you have a transaction of cash sales, now you have made a sales in return of cash. Okay. So what you have to check is, you must check whether the cash sales what you have performed today must be accounted today only. It must not be accounted on an other day. Okay, so that you have to check, and you have to also check whether the amount field, whenever you put in the journal entry for cash sales, you have to check whether the amount that you are giving as an input should not be zero. How much ever the value of cash sales was made, that must be the amount that you are giving in as input. So these kind of input validations also you have to see. So these are the auditing aspects that you have to remember in case of ERP. Okay, so I hope the topic is clear to you all. Next, they have given you a case study related to ERP system, how normal world would work without ERP, and now because of the entering of ERP, how the world is working. So these two, this example would be there that you can go and give it a read. It is not a big, concept and all. So if you give it a read, you will be able to understand. Okay, next. Next, we are going to talk about the next topic, which is your business process module and their integrations. So here what they are telling is, now specifically we are going to read what is the business process and how ERP modules are integrated with one another. Okay. So first, what is a business process? As we all know, business process is nothing but a set of activities that are performed in coordination in an organizational and technical environment. So here what they are saying, business process is nothing. These are a set of activities like sales, purchase, customer relationship management. So these are a set of activities that are performed in coordination. All these activities should be performed in coordination with each other. So in the environment it is present, in the environment that it is present, so as to you can achieve your business goal, so that you are able to achieve your business goal. That is a business process. So how do you manage a business process? How to manage a business process is, first, whatever the task is, you have to define it. Okay, then once the task is defined, you have to see how you are going to implement it. Okay, the performance you have to measure. Okay, and in the end, what you have to do is you have to put the organizational setup. In that, what will happen is you will see whether the whatever process is happening, whether it is related to the standards or not. So this is a simple question. You can go and give it a read later. Okay. Next, what we are studying is about 1 minute. Yes. Okay. So next, when we study now, just now we studied what is a business process. That different processes come together, work in a coordination, and then they achieve a business goal. Okay. So ERP, so related to the business processes, you may have a lot of modules in ERP. 1 minute. Just a minute, guys. Yes. So what was I saying? So business processes are there. So now in an ERP, so now if you see, when we talk about modules of an ERP, usually in the industry, if now SAP is there, what SAP will do is, what is a SAP? SAP is an example of ERP. So now if SAP is there, what the SAP people, the SAP company will do is that, depending on the different kinds of industries, they will have some preset modules. They will have some preset modules. Example, if it is a trading business, they will have a set of modules. If it is a manufacturing business, they will have a set of modules. If there is a service business, they'll have a set of modules. So if you see in relation to trading business, what do you do in trading business? Here you do not manufacture anything. You buy and sell products. That is, you buy from a different person and you sell it to a different person. So buying and selling of goods without any modification is what is known as trading business. So here what will happen is, here if there is a module, ERP module, which is suppose a production module, will you need that production module? Will you need a production module in a trading business? If a trading business has a ERP, in that ERP, whether will you require a production module? Can you answer me in the chat box, please? Yes or no? Will you need a production module or no? You will not need a production module, correct? So in such case, you have to keep in mind that. The same way, if there's a manufacturing business, here the production module is going to be needed, because here what you do, here you may also trade, but here you have to have the aspect of manufacturing. You have to produce the goods. So here the production module will be needed. The same way in a service industry also, the production module will not be needed, because you do not produce anything as such. Okay, you don't have any inventory, so this will not be needed. Here it is nothing but your scaling of skills, knowledge, time and effort only. Okay, so depending on what business there is, you will have to select your business modules accordingly. Okay. Next. So I told you, so here there is one concept. This is unrelated to what we were talking until now, but I'll just give you a brief on this. So I think in the start of the chapter, we had already studied about accounting process flow. We had already studied about how the process flow will be there in an accounting department. First, you'll have ledger, then you'll get your, first you'll pass your journal entry, then you'll get your ledger, then you'll form a trial balance. After that, if there are any adjustments that to be made in the trial balance, you'll make it and you'll get the adjusted trial balance. Then after that, you'll post on closing entries from the trial balance. That is, from that trial balance, that particular item, whether it should go to P&L or whether it should go to balance sheet. Depending on that, you will pass on a few closing entries. Then finally, you will get your financial statements. So this is your total accounting flow. Okay. So what happens is, in your exam, in this chapter, already in the start, we had read one accounting process or accounting flow. So in this chapter itself, there are two accounting flows which are given. In the exam, if a question is asked, you have to write this accounting flow or accounting process and only come. Okay, so below given, you can give it a read by yourself. It's simple. What is journal, what is ledger, what is trial balance, they have given you. If you read that, you'll be able to understand easily. Okay. So now we are going to move into the next topic. And this topic is a huge topic. Okay, it is easy if you understand it properly. There are a few technicalities in this. So hear me out properly. And wherever if I am explaining something, just go on keeping a note of it. Okay, yes. So now what we are going to study is functional modules of ERP. So until now we have studied that there are modules in ERP, that there are modules in ERP. We even discussed the names of modules that might be there in the ERP. So now what we are going to study is in our ICI book, they have picked up 11 modules. There can be a lot of other modules too, but these are general 11 modules that any ERP system user will have. Okay, so these 11 ERP modules we are going to study now, and in this what we are going to study about is each specific modules we are going to study in detail. Each specific modules we are going to study in detail. Okay, fine. So first, now we are going to start with financial and accounting module. This is our chapter name also, financing and accounting, financial accounting systems. Okay, so we are going to study about the financial accounting module. So here, 1 minute, guys. I'll have water and come. Just give me a minute. Yes, sorry for the delay. Yes, guys. So first, now we are going to discuss the financial accounting module. Is my voice clear? Is there any background disturbance that you're hearing, or is it clear? Clear, right? There's no background disturbances. Okay, then fine. Yes. So financial accounting module here, as you all know, the finance and accounts department is one of those departments, which connects with all other departments and all other modules. This is like one of the most basic things that you have in a company. Accounts and finance is one basic thing that you'll have in a company if you're running a business, correct? So this is one of those most important modules of the overall ERP system. Okay. So now we are going to read the features of this module. Now we are going to read the features of this module. So here, if you see, for example, if you get a new mobile phone or if you get a new laptop, you will start customizing it. Correct. You will have your own wallpaper. You will put in your movies. You will put in your lectures. You will put in your notes. Whatever is there, you will click pictures in that. You will put your passwords. So if you get a new laptop or a new phone, you are going to customize it according to you. The same way, whenever you have a financial accounting module, you have to set up according to you. You have to set up it according to you. So what you have to do is you have to, if there are purchase, if there is sales department, purchase department, HR department, then your what do we say? A supply chain management. For all these, what you have to do is you have to set up different codes. For sale S1, purchase P1, like the other day I was talking about. So like this, you have to set up different. 1 minute. Yes. So you have to set up different codes in the company, and also you have to set up the organization structure. What is this? So all those things related to the general functioning of a company, you have to update in that. So now if you see this shortcut, okay, TOGA, TOGA. Okay. So So here what you have to do is whatever the organization structure is there, that you have to update into the ERP in relation to financial accounting module, because then only you will know that what is the hierarchy that is present in the company. Then here it will include whatever your company codes are there, your company name, all those general information about that company you have to put in. Then what will happen is once that is updated, you have to update all your general ledgers, whatever ledgers that you use in the company, those general ledgers you have to update it into the ERP. After that has been updated, you have to update information about the accounts receivable, accounts payable and asset, like your accounts receivable, whatever data is there, accounts payable, whatever data is there, related to asset, whatever data is there, all those you have to update it into your ERP. And once that is then related to tax, that is CGST, SGST, what rates are going on, for cess, what is the rate going on, all those things you have to update. And finally, you must also be doing the tracking work, that is whether the whether the process that has to be there in the company, whether the process is being followed. Okay, so these are the things that you will keep in mind in relation to. Is there some background noise? Someone is saying. Are others are also able to hear? Just let me know if now it is right. It was, I think, just a fan sound maybe and nothing else. Is it proper now? Okay, guys, 1 minute. Okay, yes. So all of these, okay. So once this is done, so now what we are going to do is we are going to see the key features. Key features are nothing but this toga only. So what you have to do is you have to remember all of these things. So here you will do, I already told you that you will track your flow of financial data. That means if suppose if there is an entry, purchase to party, you have done that 100 debit purchase and credit the party from whom you have purchased, then you have to track the purchase ledger should go to the trial balance and come into profit and loss. The ledger, I mean the party which you have taken here, it should go into the proper ledgers and it should come into trial balance and then to the balance sheet. So these process flow you have to maintain and control, have a control over it. Then you have to create a organizational data, that is you have to define the company codes, company names, what are the areas that are there in the company. Okay, so all these you have to define. Then you have to do your general ledger accounting, that is you have to create all the general ledgers that are there, what are the accounting groups that you have there in the company. So all of those you have to update. And after that, you have to put in your tax configuration. That means whatever the tax related matters are there, related to that, you have to put a update into the ERP. Then related to accounts payable, you have to put in all the vendor master data, whatever is there. Related to account receivable, all the customer master data, that is customer's name, customer GSTIN. So all those you have to update. Then related to asset, the asset master data also you have to update. That is what master data, I mean, what is the depreciation rate, what is the useful life of the assets, all of these things you have to update. So this is related to financial accounting module. Okay, so I hope that is clear to you. Next, what we are going to study is your controlling module. Next, what we are going to study is your controlling module. So one module we have completed, which is your financial accounting module. We are moving on to the second module, which is your controlling module. So whenever you see, control is one of those aspects which is very, very important to a company. Okay, because only if you have control, all the things that are working in the company will work right. Correct. So here now what we are going to study is in terms of two aspects, controls in terms of two aspects. One is your cost and one is your revenue. You have to keep a control over the cost, that always the cost are minimum only. And you have to keep a control over the revenue, that your revenues are always at its maximum potential. Okay, so these are the controls, the two aspects of controls that you have to keep in mind. Can you tell me if there is if we keep a control which is one of these two aspects where a higher control would be placed? Would you keep a higher control on reducing the cost, the minimization of cost, or would you keep a higher control on the maximization of revenue? Where is, if what do you think? Where is the control aspect? Would have a higher lenience towards? Cost. Very good. So you will always keep in mind that cost is one factor where you will keep more of your attention on. So now when we are going to read the features of controlling module also, there will be 4 or 5 points related to cost, or whereas only 1 or 2, 2 points related to revenue. Here they call revenue also as your profit. Okay, so this is like, you have to, for remembering the points, I'm telling you a few keywords. Okay, so here what they tell you is controlling module, there are two aspects, one is cost and one is revenue. There are two elements, one is cost and the other is revenue. Here what you do is, when you control, you will see whether the actual figures are as per the planned data or not. So this is the control that you're going to have. So you also need to have a control on CMO. That is, you have to coordinate, monitor and optimize all the business processes that are there in the company, and you have to control them. Okay, so now we are going to read the key features of this controlling module. So the keyword for that is CAP, C square A P cube. Okay, so you can name it as CAP. So this is the short form. So here what you have to do is, here how the controlling will happen, the key features will start studying now. So the first is cost element accounting. So what you will see, if you have to, in general sense, if you have to reduce the cost, what you will do, you will look into your material cost, your labor cost, your overhead cost. So all these costs you have to control, all these costs you have to keep in control. So these are your cost elements, your material cost, your labor cost, your overhead cost are your cost elements. So all these cost elements you have to keep in control. Okay. Next is cost center accounting. So what is cost center accounting is, if you take any company, suppose if you take Reliance, okay. So in Reliance itself, you have a lot of, what do we say? This thing also, bifurcations also. Suppose Reliance Trends, your Reliance Supermarket. Then what else do you have? So all these, okay, petroleum. So all these you have different bifurcations about. Okay. Here what will happen is, you will have different groups in the company also under them. So you will have your marketing, you will have your sales, you will have your purchase. So here what they are telling is, all these are your cost centers. Your marketing is your cost center, your sales is your cost center, your purchase is your cost center. So all these cost centers, here what happen is, for this activity, particular activity, you will be incurring cost. So you have to also keep a control over these activity, whether which department is spending how much. So that control you have to keep. That is your cost center accounting. That is, each one of these is a cost center. Each one of these is a cost center. Next is activity based costing. So activity based costing, as you have already learned, it is nothing but there will be one function which is common to different departments. Okay, or one activity which is common to each department, and for that one activity you might be spending money. That, suppose example, if there is a cleaning agency which comes and cleans your company every day, that cleaning agency will not only clean sales department or purchase department, it is going to clean all of those departments. So the cleaning charge will be common to all of those departments. So that also you have to make an analysis of cross departmental business process. Okay, and you have to see what and all costs are included there, and what you can have a control over, and what you can reduce. Okay, so these were related to your cost. Now we are going to one more is there, sorry, product control costing. That means product cost means a cost which is related to a manufacturing of a product. So to manufacture a product, what cost you're going to incur. So that cost also you have to look into and try to control it as much as possible. So these were the 4 points related to cost. One was cost elements. Next is cost center. Then you have activity based costing. Then you have product cost. Okay. Related to profit, you have two things. One is profit center accounting. So what is profit center accounting is, in this Reliance example, if you see, Okay, in this lines example, if you see here, this trends is where you make profit from. Your supermarket is where you make profit from. Your petroleum business is where you make profit from. So all of these are your profit centers. So where the area from where you make profit is your profit centers. So all these profit centers you have to look into, and you have to see how you can increase or maximize your revenue or profit from there. Okay, so this thing you have to keep in mind. Next, you have profitability analysis. That you have to make analysis that whether trends is working good in North India or South India or in India or outside India. So like this, you have to make an analysis. So this is what is known as profitability analysis. So related to profitability, you have two. One is profit center accounting, and then you have profitability analysis. So I hope until this everything is clear. So we have until now studied two. So wait, I'll just open up the mnemonic. So here it is C square, no? So C, then you have A. A is your activity-based costing, then PQ, product cost, profitability, profit center. That is your mnemonic. Okay. So until now we have studied two modules. One is financial accounting module, and then second one what we have studied is related to your cost, controlling module. Next one is your, yes, okay, fine. So what I was talking about is that we have already completed two modules, and now we are moving on to the third module. So what is the third module that we have here is your sales and distribution module. You have your sales and distribution module. So sales and distribution module, this module is particularly related to this process where you make a order, where you place a order until your delivery, whatever activities happen, no? So related to that only this module is there. Okay, so in your chapter number 1, when we study chapter number 1, we are going to study this process which is order to cash. That is from making an order to minting cash from it. What is the business process in that? So there will be 6 steps in that. So related to this business process only we have a module. So related to each business process only we have one module, right? Related to accounting process, you have accounting module. The same way related to order to cash process, you have sales and distribution module. Okay, in this also you have 6 steps. Okay, so now what are those 6 steps we are going to study? But before that, we'll study that this sales and distribution module is there to support your sales and distribution activities, which will start from inquiry, that is your order placement, then end with delivery. So here what happened, usually you would have seen. Okay, so usually you would have seen that there are a few activities that you have to perform in order to make a sale. Okay, so now we are going to take one example here to understand the activities related to sales. Okay, so what happens, there is this one person example. What we'll do is we'll take the example of a person who is making a homegrown or a home brand of shampoo. Okay, so this person makes his own makes a shampoo at his own home and tries to sell it to different vendors. So what he'll do as a strategy is that first he'll go to a supermarket store, or he'll go to this normal people who have this, stalls where they sell all these general things. So he'll go to such store, and what he'll do is he'll first go give them the shampoo and tell them that, you can use this and see. And what you can do is after a week, I'll come back. And if you like this shampoo, you can make a purchase for it. Okay, so he'll do a free distribution of his samples. So he'll do a few distribution of his samples, and then what will happen is once that is done, after a week, he'll go back to all those vendors where he gave this free samples and ask them whether they like this or not. And in case of the vendor, in case of the person who's going to the shopkeeper, in case of the shopkeeper likes that particular product, they'll place an order to the person who is selling this shampoo. And this person, what he has to do is he has to go and see if he has inventory of that shampoo, or if he doesn't has this inventory, then in such case he has to procure that inventory and make his good. And once that is done, he'll go and deliver those products to the shopkeeper, and he'll make a bill against it, and the shopkeeper will make a payment. So this is your process which is related to sales and distribution. So first you do a pre-sale activity where you give free samples. Then the shopkeeper gives you a sales for which gives you a sales order which you process, and according to that you get your inventory and you make the delivery, you bill it, and you get your payment. So this is your this is your sales and distribution process. This also has 6 steps, 1 2 3 4 5 and yes, 6. So first you do pre-sale activity where you identify a prospective customer and you contact them, you fix appointments, you show your demo of whatever the product is, you give your quotations related to the product. Then that shopkeeper will give you a sales order in which will be recorded in your books. After getting a confirmed order from the customer, you'll record it in your book. Then you will do a inventory sourcing where you'll ensure that all the goods are ready and available for delivery. Okay, then you'll make the delivery where the delivery is done to the customer as per whatever the sales order they have given you. Then you will do a billing where you will raise an invoice, and finally the customer will make the payment where you will receive the amount. Okay, so this is your sales and distribution process. Next what you have in this is, now we have studied sales and distribution process. Now we are going to study the key features of sales and distribution module. Now we are going to study the key features of sales and distribution module. So here what you do is the same way as you did for finance and accounting module. For sales and distribution module also, you'll set up an organization structure, that how many sales departments are there or how many sales offices are there. In that each sales department or each sales office, how many sales persons are working. So this hierarchy you will have to give. Okay, then after that you have given, you will feed in whatever your sales codes are related to each product. You will have your sales code, right? So that sales code you have to feed in. Then so if you have to make a sales, there must be a distribution channel, like it will move from this vendor to this vendor and then finally to the customer. So that distribution channel also you have to update it into the ERP system. So this organization structure you have to update. Once this organization structure has been updated into the ERP system, what you have to do is you have to assign organizational units. So now what is assigning of organizational units? Here what you do is individual components, whatever they're there, you link it to the above activities. You link it to the above activities. Suppose if there is a distribution channel, and if there is a distribution channel of, if suppose a Pantene shampoo or a Head and Shoulder shampoo that you have put in, then that you will go and link it to the Head and Shoulder product as such. So that linking you will do that. This distribution channel is related to this product. This sales department is related to this product. So those linking, or the sale code is related to this product. So all those linking you can do. Now, once that linking has been done, you will put in your pricing of each component. That is your pricing of each product. You have to go and put it into the system. Then you will feed in also whatever your customer data is there, and whatever your sales document types are, your billing types are, your tax related components. All this information you will go and feed it into the system. So these are your sales, and this is related to your sales and distribution model. For this, I've not come up with a mnemonic. I'll do it tomorrow and I'll tell you, come up with that and tell you that in the class. And in today's class, we are going to complete all the remaining ERP modules that are there. So we have already in the last class completed the financial accounting module, the controlling module, and sales and distribution module. So in this class, all the other remaining ERP modules we are going to complete. Okay, so now let's start with the session. So we are going to start from the last ERP module and then go upwards. Okay, yes. So first, what we are going to see today is the customer relationship module. Okay. So in today's world, that this has become a customer-centric business world. Today, it has become a customer-centric business world where all the businesses are trying to attract the customers towards themselves and make them purchase their own products. Okay. So in ERP, as you know, there are different kinds of modules which help a company integrate all its functions into one and helps in the smooth functioning of a business. So one of the modules of that ERP is your customer relationship module. So customer relationship management. Okay, so what does this CRM or customer relationship management helps is that it helps it improving the relationship with the existing customers. That means there might be, if suppose there might be a customer for iPhone, if you take, usually iPhone users are loyal to their own brands. Okay, if once they purchase a Apple item, then every other time they'll only go back to Apple to purchase any other electronic items they want, right? So what happens is Apple actually creates a relationship with their existing customers such that the existing customers always return back to them, And then the CRM also helps in finding new prospective customers and also winning back former customers. Winning back former customers means that's what if for example, what happens if there is a hotel and you go to the hotel and what happens, they bring some dish, okay, and that dish you did not like, or maybe it was not hot enough as you wanted it to be and it got cold. What do you usually do? You'll call the waiter and tell them to replace the dish, right? So if in case if the hotel management courteously does that, replaces the dish for you and asks sorry and all of that, then somewhere that hotel is putting an effort to win back the customers that they might have lost, right? So that is winning back of former customers. So customer relationship management helps you in three things: improving the relationship with the existing customers, with the customers that are already there. They help in finding new customers plus winning back any former customers also. Okay, so here, yeah. So here it manages the enterprise's relationship with the customer. So the organization and the customer, the relationship between these both, it helps to manage. So here what happens is the CR module is there. No, it also helps you determine high value customers. High value customers may be in two sense. One, those customers buy your premium goods, or second, even though the customers are not buying the premium goods, but they are very consistent customers or loyal customers. So these are both high value customers for an organization, correct? So these in the CRM even helps you identify who your high value customers are, and they also document, the CRM also documents what interactions the customer have had with the enterprise. So this high value customers, what interactions they have made with the enterprise, what things they have bought and what things they have liked, what things they have not liked. All these the CRM will manage and tell you. Okay, so here one more point is that this customer relationship management, this module is only available in large ERP packages and not the smaller ones. Okay, and also I told that if you usually see a financing and accounting module, that module is usually connected with all other modules. Whereas if you see customer relationship management is usually not related with all other modules. Okay, this is mainly related to sales and marketing module only. Okay. So now we are going to, so now once you've got a brief understanding of what customer relationship management is, one example I have written here. So if you guys have been to Barbecue Nation already, you would know that there is a practice where if you go with a gang of friends and if one of the person has a birthday on that date, if you go and inform this, if you go and inform the management of Barbecue Nation, they will arrange a cake cutting session for you. Like all people will gather, clap for you, sing a song, and you will cut a cake. And that cake which is there, that will be absolutely free of cost. Correct. They'll not charge you anything extra for providing the cake. Correct. So this is one of the measures that Barbecue Nation takes to improve its relationship with the customers. Okay. Yes. So now we are going to study the key benefits of customer relationship module. I mean management module. Okay. So there are five features of five benefits or five advantages or five benefits of this module. What are the five benefits? First is improved customer relationship. So here what happens, since you have a module separately for managing your customers, you always analyze the data that you have, correct? So analyze the need or issue of a customer and provide a service to address the issue. So due to this, what happens? Your customer relationship gets improved. Second is what happens, so if your customer relationship, the relationship with your customer, if it is improving, then that will lead to increase in the customer's revenue. That means the customer who, the customers which get attracted to your company will be very more if your customer relationship is very good. If there is a brand and if, anytime I have had an issue with their laptops or with their mobile phone, and whenever I just need to raise an issue and within a week, every time the issue gets sorted. Okay. If that like that very good if customer relationship that brand has built with me, what will I do next time whenever my friend has to buy a laptop or a mobile phone? I will recommend him or her the brand that I have been using, because the customers, because after sales services what they give is very, very good. So here what happens, one, I will be purchasing from their brand only. So that revenue they'll get. Second, because of my marketing that I do to my friends, That also will help in increasing the skill. So here see, so marketing campaign can be planned in effective way. They can plan any marketing campaign also, and also any repeat customers who are there like me. They will help in increasing the sales of the company. Okay. Then maximize upskilling and cross-selling. So here what happens, since you have a CRM module, what you will do is you will have all the data about the customer. So what will happen is once next time when the customer comes to your store, or if a new customer is itself coming to your store, what you will do is if there is a shop, suppose we'll take the example of any big something like a brand factory or something like, okay, that sells a lot of brands, basically a store where where they sell a lot of brands. Now if you have gone and asked them that you need a particular shirt, and that shirt suppose cost you only 1,000 rupees, they will not first directly go and show you that. They'll go show you a premium brand shirt and tell you why it is better than the shirt that you have asked for, and will tell you to take a look at it. So this is known as upselling. That is, you will try to sell premium product, okay, in the same category that the customer wants to buy. Okay, so that is upselling. Next is cross-selling. Cross-selling means complementary product. Example, if you are buying a shirt, they'll give you some complimentary discount if you buy a pant. So cross-selling they may do. So upselling and cross-selling can also be maximized using this module. Next is better internal communication. So here what will happen is, since you have a specific module, okay, created for customer relationship management, it is within the organization, it helps you sharing the customer data from one department to the other. So that the other department also knows how to work about their own department. Correct? Yes. And the final one is optimize marketing. So here what happens? Same thing only. Since you that have a data of everything, okay, and you have it stored at a proper place in a proper module, it will help you in planning the marketing in a better way. That by how which way the customers will get attracted, you will know better, because everything here has been documented. Just give me a second. Okay, fine. Yes. So this was about the marketing, and the customer will, you'll know the customer needs better. Okay. So this is the, what do you call? This is the customer relationship management module. Has everybody understood this? Any doubts here? Anyone, any doubts? I hope this module is clear to you. Next, we are going to move on to the next module, which is your supply chain module, So in supply chain module, what they tell you here is that it helps you. So here it is what they tell is basically what happens if you see starting, you need a raw material to make a product or manufacturing a product. Okay, so where will you get this raw material from? You will get the raw material from the supplier, and you will manufacture the desired product. Once the desired product has been manufactured, you will distribute it either to the customers or the retailers, and finally it will reach the consumer. Okay, so this is how the chain works. Okay, from raw material starting from its place to reaching to the customer as a finished goods. So here what happens is the supply chain model basically looks after how you procure your raw material, how you transform them into intermediate goods, and then how these goods get transformed into finished goods, and then how you finally deliver the products to the customer through a distribution channel or chain. So all these related aspects, the supply chain module is going to be responsible for. It is going to have all the information regarding this process. Okay, and it will look after it. Okay, so here as you can see, supply chain management system, it implies that the product reaches from the manufacturer to a customer through supply. Okay, so here one after the other, each person is supplying one after the other, and that's how this module basically works. So this is a small module only, much information was not given related to it. Here one doubt you can get is, what is the difference between customer and consumer? Okay, so I'll give you an easy example. Whenever you were younger, there used to come a ice cream shop person. Okay, he used to sell ice creams, and he used to come on the roads, and he used to be ringing those bells that he has come to sell ice cream and all of those stuff. So when you were a young kid, you would have asked for the ice cream to your dad. Here, who is going to consume the ice cream? Consumer of the ice cream is the child who have asked it. But who is going to purchase and give it to the child? Who is a customer for the ice cream shop, ice cream shop shopkeeper? Your dad is the customer there. So this is the difference between customer and consumer. Customer is the person who buys the product or who pays for the product, and consumer is the person who consumes it. So this is your supply chain module. Okay. Next is your project systems module. Okay. So here project systems. So now I'll tell you in an example for this module. So now we have already completed 2. Okay. Now we are moving on to the third module, which is the project system module. So here what happens is that there is a project that you have to do, suppose. Okay. I'll maybe tell you, see. So what happens is, if you know real estate business, so here what happens is that person who also is in the construction of buildings also. Suppose they have 3 categories. One category is residential, one category is commercial, and suppose the third category is like they provide luxurious, what do we say? They construct or build luxurious resorts or luxurious villas where you can go for vacation. Okay, so suppose these are the 3 categories. This is commercial, like your shops, and residential, where that is nothing but your home. Okay, so if these are the 3 categories they are dealing in, suppose. So here what will happen is, the people who construct these buildings already have a preset template that this cement should only be used, this stone should only be used, this much cement and this much water should only be mixed. So all those basic general format for a home, what it should be, for a shop building, what it should be, and for a luxurious villa or resort, how it should be done, all these they will have a basic template on how to go about it. And further on, if there is any customization needed, then they'll customize it accordingly, but they'll have a standard template for the same. Okay, so here that's what. And so project system module, here what you basically do is, if you get any project, suppose you have got a project of building a residential complex. So here this module will be acting as a tool for planning and managing the projects and the portfolio. Okay. So here what the project manager is going to basically do is, it is going to ensure that whether the projects which have been assigned to you are executed within the budget and the time limit. Okay, so it will keep a check on whether all the budget is in check, and whether the time is in check, and whether everything is happening properly. And it will also ensure whether all the resources that there are there in the company are allocated to the project as per requirement. If less requirement is there, then they should not over allocate it. Correct. So according to whatever requirement is there, they'll make sure that this project systems module make sure that you allocate accordingly. Okay, so here what will happen is, what is the process in project system is that you will get a project request. We got a request for building a residential complex. So you already will have a template, or you'll create a template. Correct. This is your standard form, how you build a residential complex. Then they will tell you what specifications they have. So according to that, you will create a project. Okay, and that regarding that project, you will plan that till this time I have to do this much resources, I use this much money I have to spend. So the project planning will go on, and you will have the budgeting that you do, and you will release it. Then finally the project will start getting implemented, and you'll start constructing the building, and finally the project will get completed. So this is the project process and reporting. Okay, so this is about your project systems module. So here you manage all your projects basically. Okay, fine. Next, what you have is your plant maintenance module. Just give me a minute. Yes. Just a second, guys. Yes. So next is your plant maintenance module. But before I go into that, are these 3 modules clear? Any doubts until this? One is project system, next is supply chain, and the other one was customer relationship management. Any doubts? No others? Can I have your reply, please, if you're there? Yes. Okay. Fine. So now we are going to move on to the next module, which is your plant maintenance module. So what is basically plant maintenance module is that, see, even if you in real life, even if you are buying a bike or a car, you usually need to give it for maintenance purpose, and you need to, get it cleaned or get it serviced every 6 months or every 3 months as the requirements may be, correct? So here what happens is that usually we ourselves, we get busy with our daily lives and we forget that we had to, give our bikes for servicing or our cars for servicing as such. So what will happen if there is such a huge organization or such a huge manufacturing plant, and there will be around 100 or thousands of machineries and plants that have to be taken care of. So you will not remember which plant will, require servicing at what time, and how much servicing or what servicing will it require, because there will be so many plants and machine in that manufacturing unit, correct? So to manage this issue, they brought in a module which is known as a plant maintenance module. So to manage this issue, they brought in a module which is known as your plant maintenance module. So in plant maintenance module, what you basically do is you you take care of, you handle the maintaining of equipment, and also you efficiently plan the production also. Okay, because why efficiently planning of production is that, because if you know that if there is one mission number one, mission number two, and mission number three, and if you know that mission number three is going to get serviced tomorrow, and you will only have two missions to produce the products. Okay, for production purpose, only two missions will be available. Then according to that, you will plan your production, correct? Suppose if you have any deadline, then you will produce a lot more in the day prior to the servicing day itself. Before this mission goes into servicing itself, you will get the work done. So accordingly, if when the schedules are there for servicing and everything, that's the efficient planning of production also, and you will also be able to maintain the equipment properly. Okay. So what does this plant maintenance module does is that it is a software solution for all the maintenance activities that are performed within a company. So related to maintenance, whatever activities are there, this plant maintenance module will take care of. So what is the objective of this plant maintenance module? So there are three objectives of this plant maintenance module. Example, we'll take off what we'll do is, suppose here this is like just a random example, do not relate here. Plant means the plant and machinery that they use for production. I am just example purpose I'm telling you that, suppose if you have a printer, okay, and your business is that you have to print pages and give. So here what will happen is, if your printer has a capacity of 1,000 pages, okay, in a day it can print suppose 1,000 pages, then in such case what you will do is you will make sure that there is no breakdown in this printer, because if this printer breakdowns, then your whole business gets halted for a day, correct? So you always will make sure that you keep the plant in a good working condition or the printer in a good working condition at the lowest possible cost, because you do not want to spend a lot but you still would want to maintain it. So that is your first objective. Second objective is there, this printer which is there, it should be used at its optimum capacity. That means if there's a printer in your company, okay, there's no breakdown and all in it, but it is only able to print out 600 pages in a day, whereas its original capacity is 1,000 pages per day. So your objective here, what it should be is that how you can bring that 600 to 1,000. What maintenance can you do so that it becomes from 600 to 1,000? What repairs you can do so that it becomes from 600 to 1,000? So that you have to keep in mind, so that the machines whichever are there should be used at their optimum capacity without any interruption or hindrance. Okay. Third objective would be that you have to ensure that in case, if the printer, suppose a printer is not used in a specific department today, okay, if there is any other requirement for printer in any other department, then those people must be given the printer so that the printer is at least utilized and is not went waste for one day. So you have to ensure that the availability of machines by other sections of the factory means if they require it for their performance of functions, then you must even give it to them, and that way it will give you optimum return also. So these are the objective of plant maintenance module. Okay. The next one that we have is your 1 minute. The next one that you have here is your quality management module. So quality management module. So here first we'll go through this. Okay. So if there is one mobile brand that you would, highly associate premium quality or quality with would be your Apple. Correct. So the iPhones that they provide, they are usually known as the world's best quality products. Okay. Yes. So this is some customer world's best product or world's best quality they provide. So here what will happen is, so whenever they make a iPhone or whenever they release a MacBook, they always focus on quality. Okay, never would you face a bad quality issue with these Apple products, correct? So they mainly focus on quality. So here what they will do is, whenever the organization is planning to manufacture, they will plan the production in such a way that the quality always remains perfectly with them, and this quality is maintained using available resources itself. So they'll plan that production. Next, what they'll do is, once the manufacturing and production is going on, in this production process or in this manufacturing process, they will identify each step or process. That means how first, they'll assemble everything. First, they'll put on the screen, then they'll put on the battery. So like this, they'll identify each and every process which is there, and they will also set objectives for each step. That this steps must be able to achieve this. If there is a step where the color coating is happening for the iPhone, then that is your one of the steps which you have identified. Here you will set a standard, that set a standard for that color coating process, that a minimum 3 to 4 colors should have been coated upon it. So you have to set objectives, because why do we coat 3 to 4 why do we give 3 to 4 coatings? Because the what do we say, the color must be there and no matter what, and it should not just go away like that. Correct. So you will set standards accordingly. So this is what is known as quality assurance. When you do these 3 steps, this will be known as your quality assurance. So once your quality is assured and your finished goods are ready, what you can do is, in that time also, if you want to check the quality of the product, and if you're still doubtful, you can put a surprise check, that if 1,000 iPhones are getting produced and coming out, you may on a random basis select any 5 iPhones and check whether the quality is proper or not. Okay, you can do a quality check, and finally it is going to be received by the customer. So this is basically how and where you bring quality into place. Correct. Yes. So quality management module. So it helps in the management of quality that we know in the productions across processes in an organization. So here you see there is a short form. It is PCAI. So it is quality planning, quality control, quality assurance, and quality improvement. So here what happens, I have already told you what is quality planning. You will plan the production activities which are there, how you can achieve it with the available resources that are there. That is your quality planning. Second is your quality assurance that I told you, where what you do, you identify the various processes, you identify the objective of each process, then you establish the procedure for getting the result, and then you document it so that everybody else is also able to follow the procedure and get the required results. So quality assurance you do, which I have already told you here. Then you also do quality control, where what you do is you check if the maintenance is proper, or if the manufactured goods are whichever have come out, are they as per the standards set in by the firm. Okay, so here what you do is, randomly you can do inspections whenever you feel like. So what will happen if you do random checking or random inspection? You will prevent the non-conforming materials from going to customer. That means if there is iPhone which is unfit to go to a customer, in case if you do random inspection, then it might get caught and it might not be passed on to the customer, so that your reputation also doesn't get damaged. And finally is quality improvement. So as you know, the customer's needs and expectations are continuously changing. So you need to keep on improving your quality. This is a never-ending process. So there are 4 points related to quality management. One is quality planning, quality control, quality assurance, and quality improvement. So that was regarding your quality management module. Okay. So yes. So the next module that you have is your material management module. The next module that you have is your material management module. So here what you basically do is, this module is related to the entire purchase transaction. So whatever purchase transactions you make in the firm, this material management module is going to take care of it. Okay. Just a minute, guys. 1 minute. Yes, sorry. Okay. So what was I saying? I was saying that related to purchase transactions, if anything happens, then this material management module is what take care of it. So as you can see, material management module, as the term suggests, manages the materials which are required. That is purchase of raw material and how it is getting processed, and finally how it is produced in the enterprise. This material management module will look into. So here what will happen is, here basically this module looks into the business function of procure to pay. Procure to pay means right from procuring your raw materials to the end customer that pays you, the whole process which is there in between, this material management module will take care of. So now what is this procure to pay process? We are going to read it in the chapter number 1. Okay, so at that time you will understand this module even more better, but for now you can understand that it is related with the purchase transactions that happen in a company. Also there are sub-components to this module. There are 4 sub-components. First is vendor master data. That means if you have to purchase raw material, you would need the information regarding all the vendors, right? So you will have your vendor master data in that. Next is, if you have got some raw material, that purchasing part will be there. So related to that, you will have a sub-component. And then once the purchase is done, you will consume it. Correct. You will consume the raw material so that the raw materials gets converted into finished goods. So that is there. And finally, inventory management you will do. Once the finished goods have been manufactured, you have to, that is your inventory, right? So that management you will have to also do. Okay. So this is your basic points related to material management. Then you have a process of how this material management process looks and what this module covers. So what will happen? This production department will be there. The production department would want to produce a few products. Suppose, for example, now it wants to produce like 1,000 printers. Suppose, okay, the production department wants to produce 1,000 printers. What it will do is, it will first go and send a purchase requisition. Purchase requisition is nothing but we'll send a purchase request. Requisition means purchase request to the purchase department and tell them that they have to produce 1,000 units of printers. So accordingly, they need the raw material. Suppose any 1,000 units of raw material also for the same. Okay, will example we'll take. So what this purchase department will do is, it will evaluate what the request has been sent with respect to current stock. So first it will see what current stock of raw material we have. We have 200 already in stock. And what is the pending order? Pending order means already we would have placed, before the request would have come, before that itself we would have placed some request to the vendors that give me this amount of raw material. So suppose 300 raw materials units of raw material they have already ordered. So 200 already in stock, 300 they have already ordered. So now remaining how much they have to order? 500 units they have to order. So if you total this, you'll get your 1,000 units, correct? So once that is done, if the requisition is accepted, if this request is accepted, then they will ask the quotation from the approved vendor. So from whoever vendor they are going to purchase the raw material, they will ask a quotation from that vendor, and then you will evaluate the quotation, that which vendor gives you the best quality at the best price, and according to that you will select the best option, place in a purchase order. That means we want to buy this raw material from you, like that you will place a purchase order. Then what will happen once that is done? This receipt of material by store department which issues TRN or MRN. So what will happen once you placed order? The vendor will send you the raw material to your own manufacturing plant or manufacturing location. So the store department will get this raw material inventory and they will store it, and in against that they will issue something known as goods receipt note. Okay, and so what we'll do is, the stores department which has now got the all the products or all the raw material, it will issue to the production department. It will issue the raw material to the production department, and what we'll do is the production department will use it to produce a finished goods. That is a different part, but even the accounts department has to now make payment to the vendor, right? So they'll record the purchase invoices and finally make payment to the vendor. So this is your process. This is what has been also explained here. You can give a read to it. So this is a process, and this is how your material management module will work. or it will help in basically, it will help in working of this process only. Okay, so after this, yeah. So now then we move on to the next module, which is the production planning module, which is your production planning module. So what, as the name suggests, so it will help you in your product, it will help you with your production. So what will happen is this software has been designed specifically for production planning and management, I have told you. Okay. So here what happens is what and all will be there in this module. So in this module, there will be a master data. What master data will be there in the module? It will have master data related, because this is what module? This is your production module. So here to produce, you need raw material. So that raw material master data you have. Where and all are this raw material going to get processed? So those work centers data you will have. Routings you will have, in the bill of materials also you will have. Correct. Next, what will happen is, what else is going to be included in this production module is that you will have a SOP, that is you will do sales and operations planning, where you will forecast what sale is going to be there in the future, so that according to that you are able to produce now. The same way, then you'll also have distribution resource planning. Here what you will do is, once you are ready with your finished goods, there must be enough distribution centers to sell your goods also. Now, if you have suppose produced 10,000 units, but there is only one shop that is going to sell it, then it makes no sense to produce so much at one time and store it, because it will cost you carrying cost. If you only have one store, then according to that, as and whenever the stock depletes, you can manufacture newly. But so according to how much distribution channels you have and how much demand you have, you can plan your production. Next is material forecasting. So once you know how much sales forecasting is done, and now you know how much distribution centers are available to you, now you know how much you will have to produce, and according to that, how much raw material will be required. So that raw material forecasting you can do. Then material requirements planning. So here what you do is, you calculate the net requirements from the planning run. That is what the whole planning, whatever is there, how do we call this? The whole production process. In that whole production process, what and all items will be required. All the net requirements you will plan. Okay, that you will require this and this while during the production phase. Then what they are telling you is capacity planning. So capacity utilized based on the work centers available. So here what they are saying is, they have production capacity of suppose 1,000 units. Then this capacity must be utilized properly based on how many work centers they have. If suppose they have a work center like 10 work centers, then 10 into, if the capacity to produce is 1,000 units, so 10 into 1,000 units should be produced. So optimum capacity should be used. So according to that, you have to plan accordingly that such capacity is being utilized. Finally is product cost planning, because once you produce a product, what happens is that you will incur cost in producing the product, correct? So you have to evaluate and value the component materials. That means you have to determine how much the product should have costed you. Okay, so this is all relation to production module. So what you have here, first you consider the master data, then you have the sales forecasting, then your distribution center forecasting, then you have your material forecasting, then you forecast, then you calculate what net requirements will be there and how much capacity you will be able to utilize, and finally what should be the product cost. So here you have a short form for this. It is SDM of CP. SDM of CP was S. Here this is your S. This is your D. This is your M and M here. Then of CP, C and P. Here also there is one more P. Okay, so this is just a short form. You can remember it. Here again you have the process given. So first you will issue the raw material, then you convert it to WIP, then into finished goods, and you will transfer the same into your godown. Okay. 1 minute. So until now, what are the modules that we have completed? We have completed customer relationship management, supply chain module, project system module, plant maintenance module, quality management module, then your material management module, and now we are moving on to your and we have completed the production planning module, and now we are moving on to the final module, if I'm not wrong. Yes, final module, which is your human resource module. This is the last module of the entire ERP. So in human resource module, as the name itself suggests, that here you have to manage the human capital that is there in the organization. So you would have heard a lot of time people saying that, Okay, so people, I'll answer the question after this modules are completed. Okay, yes. So you have always heard that humans are the biggest asset in the company, and if humans are managed in the right way, then it can take your company or your firm or your organization to the highest levels. Okay, correct. So here, what this human resource module will basically do is it will help you hiring a person depending on the one second. Yes. So here what is some screen issue? Fine. Yes. Okay, now I think it is right. So here what it is going to do is this module will help you manage the data related to the human capital that is there in your company or the humans that are there in the working in the company basically. So right from hiring a person, right from the recruitment phase to evaluating one's performance and managing their promotion, compensation, handling the payroll and other related activities of an HR, this module can be used. So if you want to even hire a person, if you want to compute the salary of a person, if you want to compute what how the promotion should be given, so all the data you will have in that HR module. This HR module actually maintains a total employee database. Okay, all the data related to the employees in the company, each and every single thing will be available in this module. Okay, this HR module also it only interacts with few other modules and not all the modules. This HR module is not going to go and interact with sales module, correct? This HR module may interact with the finance and accounting module because there it has to process the what do you say, salary and pay them out, correct? So this is what has been given here, and this is your process. First you recruit, that is higher, then you record expenses, you pay via payroll, recording education, termination, absence, position change, pay change. So these are the basic things that happen in a company related to your HR. Okay, so so here what other informations are there in the human resource module is only given here. So related to your leave, holiday, your loans, all the information will be there. Then you will also have information related to your what do we say related you can input other transactions also, such as what your attendance was that day and how much you are earning, how much is your deductions, how much are your employee advances. So all the data basically related to human resource will be there in that, and this module can also generate different kinds of payroll reports, that how much employees how much was the staff turnover or how much was the salary that has been paid out, how many employees worked how many days. So all of these information you will get from the human resource module. Okay, yes, so this was the final module guys. So we have I'll just go back to the summary page one. Just give me a minute. Yes, okay. Now it can be seen. Yes, so these were all the modules that we had. Some issue. Yes, so here these were all the modules that we have gone through, and I hope you understand what each and every module talks about. Okay, so here see, if finance and accounting module talks about all the accounting related part and your finance part. Controlling module talks about how to control costs. Sales and distribution module, HR, Production module talks about the production process. Material management talks about how you are going to manage your raw material. Here, how the quality is going to maintain that. Here, how the plant is going to maintain. How are you going to look after its repairs and maintenance. Here, how if you get any project, how are you going to process it. Here, how the supply is going to happen. How are you going to manage your customers. So all the ERP modules we have learned, and I think the keywords or the key points, if you remember, it is more than enough for this, correct? Okay, so here someone had already asked me a question that whether we have to memorize these 11 modules, how will it be asked in the examination? So yes, you have to remember the keywords of these modules. If in exam they'll ask you that, in case if we have read any features, then they'll ask you, please tell the features of so and so module, or please explain what this module is about. So you must have a general understanding and just remember a few keywords, whatever are there. Suppose for example, if we take I'll take a module. Okay. So if we take suppose this production planning module, here they can ask you what are the components of this production module. Then you have to give this SDM of CP. You have to write and come. The same way they can quality management module. They'll ask you what are the 4 aspects of this quality management module. You have to write the 4 aspects and explain it. It is planning, control, assurance, and improvisation. So like these questions are going to be asked. There is no set standard of questions that they can only ask this way or that way. Okay, or they'll give you a case study in the exam, and they may ask you that in this case study you have to read and recommend what and all modules will the firm require, or what they might need and why they might need that module, because all modules every firm wouldn't need, every company wouldn't need. So what would suggest any 4 modules for them? So like that also they can see. So basically, if you have a good concept clarity over this, then you'll be able to answer the questions. It wouldn't be tough. Okay, so there is one final part, only a 5 minutes part is there. We'll complete that and then we can wind up with the class. Okay. Yes. So here what they tell is how this integration is going to happen with other modules. That is how all the 11 modules, these are the basic 11 modules. There might be even more modules, as I said in the start of the ERP class itself. So, okay, so how are they all going to come together? So what they tell is all the units which are there, or all the modules which are there, it must work in harmony with the other units to generate a desired result. That is true, because even only when one module is working in coordination with the other module, then only you'll be able to get the desired result, or else it is going to be a big mess. Correct. So here below they have given you a few points that you have to remember when you are integrating the modules. Okay, when you are integrating all the modules, what other things that you have to remember is that first you have to, the master data, whatever you have created, it must be across all the modules, it must be the same. If in one module they have put employee name as Bhavana, then in all the modules, whichever that employee name has been used, it must only be Bhavana, and it must not be of any other spelling or any other, what do we say, any other kind. Correct. So it must be shared with other modules also, and it must be constant over all the modules. Second is common transaction data must be shared with other modules. So here what they are saying is, if suppose any common thing has happened which is going to affect other modules. So suppose a new employee has been hired. This will affect the payroll related module, and this will affect the HR related module, and this will affect your accounting module. So like this common transaction which will affect other modules also must be openly shared with the other modules, or must be the information was passed on to the other modules also, basically. Next is separate voucher type must be created for each module. For sales, for your sales module, a different purchase a voucher number should be there, or voucher type should be there. And the same way for purchases, a different voucher type should be there. So separate voucher types for each module should be there, so that each department you are able to recognize easily that this transaction was related or recorded by so and so department. Correct. Next. Then you have figures and transactions may flow across the department. So here they may tell you that the employee salary is 1 lakh, and this figure may flow on to the accounting department as employee salary is 1 lakh rupees. And then so informations like these, basically it can flow from one department to the other department also. And also the transaction, suppose a closing stock which is there, it is going to flow from it's going to be taken from the trading account, and it is going to be put into the balance sheet. Okay, so the flow of transactions will also be there. Okay, so these are the points that you have to remember while you integrate all the modules together. Okay, so then after that, here they have given how they have taken two modules and integrated them. I mean, have put them together and told them how they both are integrated. So this you can give a self-read until your page number 2.58, you can give a self-read. It will be very easy to understand, since you already know what the functions or what each module is going to perform. So, all right. So, until the last class, we had read completely about what ERP was, what were the different modules that were there in ERP, why concept of ERP came into place, and all of those things. And I told you that chapter number 2 has to be properly had actually, if taken on a proper account, should have ended with that itself. Because what we are going to read after this is not related to what we have read earlier, and these are now independent concepts which we are going to read from now on. Okay, so first we are going to start today. We are going to start with the topic of management information system, reporting systems and management information system. Okay, so what is management information system is that if you see in a company, okay, so in a company, what will happen is you need information, or you need data to take decisions. You need information or data to take decisions, correct? So the management is a set who is going to take decision on behalf of the company that they are running, correct? So to collect and gather this information, which will be you later on used for decision making by the management, there is a system. They developed a system for collecting this information and taking decisions. Okay, so that is what is known as your management information system. Management information system is nothing but the information which the management will need to take decisions, and to gather that information, the system that they have created is known as management information system. Okay, so here, so as you all know, see, usually you know what, so management usually takes decision based on the balance sheets that are generated for the company, the profit and loss account generated, and using the cash flow statement of the company. But what one disadvantage of that would be, this balance sheet, profit and loss and cash flow statements, even though they help in decision making for the management, these are only generated once a year. These are only generated and presented once a year. But what about the people who are working on a daily basis, or what about the managers who are working, are at the operational level, and they want daily information or daily report of what is happening in the company, correct? So reports of those kinds can also be generated in the company. So reports of those kinds can also be generated in a company. So if you see, usually what is a report? Our balance sheets is a kind of report, our profit and loss is a kind of a report, our cash flow statement is a kind of a report. Anything that gives you information will be known as a report. Okay, so what I was talking about is, what is report? Report is nothing but a simple means of presenting the information that you have. So what and all assets there in the company, what and all liabilities are there in the company, you represent it with the help of a balance sheet, correct? The same way, what and all expenses you have incurred, what all incomes you have gained this year, you all represent it with the help of profit and loss account. The same way, the cash movement in a company is presented in the way of cash flow statement. So it is nothing but a report, is nothing but a presentation of information which is proper and meaningful, which is in a proper and meaningful way. Okay, so here that is report. Now what is reporting system? So here there are two terms. One is report and the second one is reporting system. So what this reporting system will do is, the reporting system will do nothing but it is going to generate reports. Okay, it is going to generate reports. So what reporting system will do is, there will be a system where regularly these kinds of reports will get generated, okay, on pre-decided aspects. I'm not sure how many of you have seen the YouTube. There is an app, or there is a page which is called the YouTube Studio, where what happens in that YouTube Studio is that, so if YouTube Studio is nothing but the place where all the analytics related to the YouTube page or the YouTube channel that you run is displayed. Okay, so in that what happens is, there are already pre-decided aspects. So here in that YouTube Studio, they will show you, like, I'll give you 3 examples of what and all information or what and all report we can get from there. One, you can get a report of how many people, how many live subscribers that you have, like how many subscribers have increased, or how many have gained and how many have lost. So that report you'll be able to get. Second report that you'll be able to get is on seeing the video thumbnail. So what happens once you YouTube homepage, what happens is that you will get video recommendations, right? So like that, many people would have got video recommendations, okay, of my own YouTube channel video itself. How many people have seen that YouTube recommendation and clicked on that video? So that data also will get. So like this, on pre-decided, these and all are not information what I have put in that I want. These are pre-decided aspects which the YouTube themselves, the team themselves have, and they just give a regular reporting of these aspects to us. So this is what is reporting system, a system which generates reports on pre-decided aspects. Okay. Okay, fine. So in your phone, if I have to give you an example, you will have this digital well-being where they will show how many hours you have spent on each app of yours. So that is one kind of a report that you get. Okay. So here, so the basic purpose, okay, the basic purpose of any system is to give the right information at the right point of time to the right people for the right decision making. Correct. So today, if I have to take a decision, I'm a company, I'm a marketing manager. Now today, if I have to take a decision whether, I want to give discounts to people or not, whether today if I give more discounts, so if you go to Diwali purchases and all, you would have realized in every shop that you go, there'll be discounts. So that is a decision that the marketing manager has taken based on the data that they would have had. They would have a data that previous year when we had given them Diwali discounts and Diwali, Diwali discounts and Diwali coupons or, extra gifts and all of those, the sales had increased a lot. So based on that data, you will be able to, provide right decision or take right decisions. Correct. So that is what is the main objective behind this reporting. Okay, so two basic reports that you all know is your balance sheet and your profit and loss statement, but these are not the only reports. Okay, in company there might be daily expense reporting, or you can know there might be report in a company where how many hours the staffs are working or how many hours people are worked productively, how is the production unit production going on, is it effective or not. So all these kinds of reports also you can have. Okay, so reports, okay. So that's what they are telling here. These two reports, this balance sheet and profit and loss, will not be enough for you to take all types of decision. There are different types of reports that you will require for taking different kinds of decision. Okay, yes. So we studied about reports and reporting system. Now we are going to study about the management information system. I already told you management needs information to take decision, and the system via which you are going to get this information is known as your management information system. So what does a management information system do? It is nothing but they call it a report. This is also a report which the management will use to take decisions. So it is a tool that the managers use to evaluate business processes and the operations. Okay. So here, now for example, just give me a second. Yes. So now here, see, here they have given you a few criterias, that you must ensure that it is there so that your report or the information that you have is more useful. Okay. Now example, suppose we'll take that we are running a hotel. Okay, we are running a hotel business. We are having a hotel chain. Okay. So now if a customer comes, okay, now if a customer is going to come, suppose we have a chain of 10 hotels. Okay. Now if a customer is going to come and inquire to us, we must at the point if now they are inquiring for suppose 2 bedrooms. Okay. Or 2 rooms. Okay. Now they are have a requirement of 2 rooms, and they are coming to us and asking if we have 2 rooms available in our chain of hotels. Now at this point of time, you must have the information about all the 10 hotels at real-time information. That means currently, right now, at this particular moment, how many rooms are available, how many rooms will be vacant, which are not available now, but which will be vacant later on the dates that these people are inquiring for. So all this real-time information the manager of the hotel should have, so that he is able to give out this information and make sales for himself. Okay, so here what they are telling is whatever information that you have. So this is a kind of the report that the manager will have. So if you open the hotel's desktop, okay, there you will find this real-time information. This is nothing but a report of the occupancy, report of occupancy of your hotel, and this report is a real-time report. Like the same example you can give for your theaters also. So when you, railway station, they have railways timing data, correct? So that is also there. So these are the examples, and for theaters also you have this real-time report generation which you have, correct? So now what will happen, because in theaters also, movie theaters also, you have online booking as well as offline booking. So the people who are taking bookings offline, that is at the directly at the theater, they must have a report of how many people and which seats have been booked online, so that they know which seats are available now and which they can allocate to the rest of the people. Okay. So here what they're telling is there are four information, four criteria that will make the information most useful. Okay, so first is whatever you have must be relevant data. That is what data you need, that data should only be there. Now here, if now what the manager needs is a data of how many rooms are vacant. Now if for example, now this reporting system is providing him data of how many rooms have been cleaned, for how many days it have been cleaned, how many pillow covers to be changed. These and all are data which he doesn't need at all. Okay, so for him, for his specific business area, whatever reports are needed, that reports the manager, if he gets, that's more than enough. So relevant data only he must get. Next is timely data. Right now, in real time, how many rooms are available? What's happening now or in the recent past to take decisions about the future. So timely data must be available. Next is accurate data. If there are only 2 rooms available, it should only show 2. Okay, it should not show more than that. And if suppose if the system is there and if it is actually there might be rooms available, but the system might show that there are 0 rooms available. So that also should not happen. Accurate data must be available. Next is structured data. That means whatever data you have been given or whatever report you have been generated and given to you, even though the information is very complex, it must be put together in such a way that it is easy to understand. Put together in such a way that it is easy to understand. Okay, so these are the 4 criteria that you have to keep in mind to make the information most useful for you. Okay. So here what they say is MIS. Who uses MIS report? Who uses this management information system reports? So here what they tell is first how they collect this reports. From where do they get this information? Is from the various areas within a business they'll get this information. Okay, and the systems what they'll do is depending on the information that they have got, they'll produce daily reports and it will be sent to the key members for whom this information will be available. I mean, for whom this information will be useful, they'll send it to those members, correct, to the key members. And also this MIS with this system which is there, management information system, they can generate on demand reports also. So now if I have a demand that this information or this report I particularly need, they can generate this kind of report also. Whenever you need it, they will generate this system can generate a report and give to you. Okay, so here if I would have to tell you one thing, this management information system, this MIS reporting is it itself is a job area, like an employment area. People get employed for just collecting the information and presenting it in the form of reports. If you go outside, even people who have completed CS go into this field, and I think the starting salary would be around 7 to 8 lakhs per annum for this field. So what CS do usually is this is not the field that we specialize in or what we call might be our forte, but people also go there and they do this reporting. They will collect information, whatever is there in the company, gather it all together and present it in the form of reports to the people whoever need it. Okay, so here if you see, if many large businesses have specialized MIS departments, this was what I was telling you, whose only job is to gather business information, create MIS reports. Okay, so here there are 2 kinds of businesses. One, there might be small businesses and the other might be large businesses. Both of the businesses would need, reports to take informed decisions. So small businesses, whichever are there, usually they use simple software programs or what we can say Excels and spreadsheets to make these reports. Whereas if there are large businesses, they use, sophisticated computing technology and software. One of the example is MS Dynamics. So large companies use MS Dynamics. This is one of the software which will generate reports and give it to you automatically with all the information that has been fed into the system. Okay. Yes. So this is who uses the MIS reports. So how many types of MIS reports are there? If you ask me, I have already told you that depending on what the need is, the reports can be generated. So as many types of MIS reports are there, as many divisions you can have in a business. Okay. Yes. So that was all about your management information system, and I hope you don't have any doubts in that. Okay. So next we are going to move on to the next topic, which is your data analytics and business intelligence. Data analytics and business intelligence. Okay. So first, what is we'll study about data analytics. So what is data analytics? As the name itself suggests, there will be data, you will be given the data and you have to analyze it, and you have to just analyze the data, whatever has been given. Okay, so here that what is data analytics? It is the process of examining data sets. What you will do is you will have a data. Okay, suppose you have a data that July to August, from July to August, in that 1 month of shift, your sales has gone up by 25%. So this is the data that you have. So you're going to process this data and you're going to draw conclusions about information that they contain. So here what conclusions you may draw is that maybe because of the marketing, the sales might have increased, or because it is a seasonal product. Now, since it is the seasonal product of August, the product sales might have increased. So whatever with the data you have, you will come to a conclusion on why such data has happened, or why such instances happened. And what you will do is you can take help of the specialized system and software that are available these days in the market, and with the help of that you can process the data and draw conclusions depending on it. Okay, so this is nothing but your data analytics, where you just analyze the data and come to a conclusion. Okay. So here, 1 minute. Yes. So here first what happens is that first you have data. Okay, suppose I have so there are 5 stages to this. First you have data. Suppose I just give you a data bluntly that, our company has got 100 crores. Our company has got 100 crores, or bluntly if I tell you 100 crores, you will not understand what it is. So what is data? Data means something which is without context. So data means something without context. If I tell you just 100 crores, you'll not be able to understand. Now then, what is information? Information is nothing but data given with the context. Now, rather than saying just 100 crores, I'll tell you that sales in August is 100 crores. So that is your information that you have, which is your data, which has a context to it. Next, what will be knowledge? Knowledge is whatever information that you have. With that, if you add up your insight, then that will be your knowledge. What insight you have got is sales in July was 80 crore rupees, but due to the marketing expenses that has increased by 10%, post that your sales has also increased by 25%. So this is a knowledge that you have got by taking an insight into what the data has to provide you. Okay, next is what you do is you take intelligent decisions based on the knowledge that you have got. Now what you will do is, from next time you will increase your marketing expenses by 15%, so that your sales increases furthermore. Okay, so here what you do is, with the knowledge you have, you make a futuristic decision, or you have a foresight which helps you take intelligent decisions. Okay, so this is the process which usually happens. Okay, just a minute. Okay, yes. So now you have different types of data analytic applications. You have different types of data analytic applications. I hope until this you did not have any doubt. Okay, so now we are going to read different types of data analytics. Okay, these are all different kinds. There are totally 7 kinds of data analytics that we can divide the data into. Okay, so the first is quantitative data analysis. Quantitative data analysis means, as the name itself suggests, it will make use of quantities, or we can say numericals. It will make use of numericals and give us a using the numericals, we will analyze the data. Using the numericals which are there, we are going to analyze the data. Example, you can take example in the CA foundation, you would have studied statistics and all, right? So in that standard deviation, variance, these statistical procedures. Okay, 1 minute, guys. Just a minute. Yes. So I hope now the screen is visible. Yes. So what was I saying? So quantitative data analysis means with the numericals that you have and with the statistics what you have, you will analyze the data. So analysis of numerical data with the help of quantifiable variables that can be compared or measured statistically. Okay, so this is your quantitative data analysis. You are analyzing the data using the quantitative aspect. There is one more example which I can. Are you able to see my screen, guys? Is my screen visible? No, right? Okay. Okay, now is it fine? I don't know what's the issue with screen sharing today. Are you able to see now? Yes? Okay, perfect. Fine. Yes. So example, then I first explain the next and then I'll give you the example. So then you have qualitative data analysis. Here what you do is, here this is non-numerical data. Here you use non-numerical data to interpret the data and take a, come to a conclusion about it. So here example for quantitative, I can tell you that your earnings have increased by 10% from previous year. So this is a quantitative data. Whereas qualitative data means how happy you are due to this change, how happy you will be with the increase in your earnings. So so what is qualitative data analysis? Depending on the text or images, audios, videos, or what we can say, your feelings or emotions, all of these gets included in qualitative data analysis. So quantitative data analysis, you would have heard a lot of time that how much hours people sleep. If people sleep for 7 to 9 hours, it has been proven that the people who sleep about 7 to 9 hours lead a happy life, or the chances of getting a heart attack are less. So that is nothing but quantitative data analysis. What is qualitative data analysis is that there was a report which was released, I'm not sure in which country, but they had released a report on which people of which country are the happiest. They took a survey of around 100 or 200 countries, and they had ranked each country on the basis of how happy people are there, and India was ranked about in the 140th position or something like that. So that is a qualitative data analysis. Okay, next what we have is, next is other two. These are two sets. We are going to read data analytics, these in sets. So this is one set. The next set is this one: exploratory data analysis and confirmatory data analysis, EDA and CDA. So what is explanatory data analysis is that if somebody is telling, if we are exploring, okay, so now there is a crime scene that has happened, and there you go and find a person who is dead. Now the person who is dead, somebody has murdered him. Now if you are going to find out with the data that you have at the crime place that who was the murderer, then that is exploratory data analysis. That means with whatever data you have, you're going to explore it. Okay, so you will find patterns and relationships in the data that, in the movies and all, you would have seen that at this time this person entered, and at this time this person should have gone out but did not go out, but no other opening was there. So all of those things. So exploratory data is, in simple sense, is nothing but it is here, if you see, it is compared to a detective work, where you do a detective work and where you find patterns and relationships in data. That will be known as exploratory data analysis. Next is confirmatory data analysis. So what is confirmatory data analysis is that here you have come to a conclusion that XYZ is the murderer. Okay, suppose Ram, Sham or someone is a murderer. Okay, so now this is the data you have, that Ram is the murderer. Now this data, if you are going to confirm it, okay, now this data, if you are going to confirm whether it is true or false, that will be known as confirmatory data analysis. So this is nothing but the work of a judge or a jury during a court trial. In the court, they will have hearings, to confirm if he is the only murderer, if the charge has been put upon him. So that is confirmatory data analysis. That here in exploratory, you say who was the murderer. You try to find out. Here you have the name that XYZ is the murderer. You try to confirm this information. The same way, another example might be that you have a data. You might have a data that sales has increased due to the marketing expenditure increase. But here, this is the data you have. Now, if you're trying to confirm it, okay, using your statistical techniques, if you determine whether the assumption, hypothesis means assumption about the data set is true or false, then that will be confirmatory data analysis. Okay, so I hope you understood that. And there are other types of data analysis too, which is data mining. You will see that in the chapter 3. I have already uploaded a video on it, so you can go and see that. Chapter, machine learning and predictive analytics, we'll read more about in the chapter number 4. For now, I will just give you an examples of this 3. Okay, like what this means in a short form. Data mining means here how you analyze the data is that you sort the large data sets which are there, and in that large data sets you try to find some kind of a pattern or some kind of a trend by which you can come to a conclusion. What is predictive analytics is that you try to predict what the customer behaviors can be, what the future or events can be using the data that you have. Okay, next is machine learning. So machine learning is nothing but like your artificial intelligence. Here what you do is, this artificial intelligence technique will help you churn through the data sets, whatever there quickly than the data scientist, and using that you can do your data analysis. Okay, so these were the types: exploratory data analysis, confirmatory data analysis, quantitative data analysis, qualitative data analysis, data mining, predictive analytics, and machine learning. Okay. So there is one more which is known as your big data analytics. So big data analytics, here what happens is that you will have big data also. I would have explained in chapter number 3. If you would have watched that video, you would have already known. So here also it is nothing but big sets of data, whatever you have, that big sets of data are usually not structured or semi-structured, we can say. So what is structured is, here I told you when I was telling you, where did it go? 1 minute. Where did I tell you that? When I was telling the criteria. So here I told you that structured means nothing but information which is easy to understand. Whereas in big data, you have unstructured or semi-structured data, means it is not easy to understand the data. So what you do is you do big data analytics. You apply the concept of data mining, predictive analytics, machine learning, and all of that to this set of data, and try to find out some conclusion or find out some information through it. Next is text mining. What is text mining is that what happens is, now if you know Modi ji, he would receive a lot of mails and a lot of messages from different people from different parts of the country. Correct. So what happens is, he or she or the manager, whoever he has, they cannot sit down and see each and every message. If there is someone, okay, who is famous on Instagram itself, for a day, they will receive around 30 to 40 messages from everyone. Think of a personality who is ruling over a country. Okay, he would receive hundreds of email or complaint emails or appreciatory emails and all of that. So now he cannot sit through and see all the emails, correct? So here they use a concept of text mining. What happens here is that it analyzes the documents, emails, and other text-based content. And what it does is that basically they will set up a system where, Modi ji will say that whatever information or whatever text or whatever emails I've received, if it is appreciatory email, just show it to me. If it is not appreciatory email, show it to the person, show it to the assistant, so he can take out proper information from it and give it to me. Okay, so like this, they can do text mining and they can filter out messages and use the data to their convenience. Okay, so that was text mining. Fine. Next, so now we have studied about what data analytics was and what are the different types of data analytics. Now we are going to see the applicational area of data analytics. Where and all do you use these data analytics? So here, where do you use these data analytics is that the banks and the credit card companies which are there, they analyze the withdrawal and spending patterns to prevent fraud and identity theft. So if you see, what will happen is, now if I'm a user and I daily transact to a maximum value of only 10,000 or 20,000 maximum, suddenly comes a day where I suddenly transact for 5 lakh rupees 2 or 3 times in the same day itself, then that is a suspicious activity. Here, what will the bank do is, the bank will have a data analytics system where it will analyze all the transactions and see if there is any transaction which is not normal. Okay, which is different than usual, and what will happen is, using this withdrawal and spending pattern or the data analytics that they have used, they can prevent fraud and identity theft. The same way, you will also have this, after 3 incorrect pins, your card will get locked. So all these areas. So here the bank is one of the areas where you can use your data analytics. Next is where what will happen is e-commerce company and marketing service providers use data analytics. Now you would have already heard this example 100 times where you would go on Amazon, you would search for a product, and that product, if you search, and if you know, example, if you're using some, what do we say, Instagram or some other website. Now if you have used, example, for if you have searched for shoes, now if you come on Instagram, you'll continuously get the shoe ads only, that will be running on and on. Or if you go into Facebook, the same shoe ads will be coming for you. Okay, so these are the e-commerce companies and marketing service providers. What they do is they do analysis of data of people, what people are searching, what people would look for. In Diwali time, people would, okay, you look for more of dresses and outfits and all of those. So they would see this, and they will what will do is they will navigate their information or their viewing pattern in such a way that people are most likely to buy that product. Okay, so they will identify website visitors who are more likely to buy a product, and according to that they will show recommendations and all of those. So there is another part where data analytics is used. Next is mobile network operators, your Jio SIM operators or your Airtel operators. They examine the customer data to forecast so that they can retain customers. They'll see for which package, the people are buying more. Suppose if there is a package of Netflix and Prime, they have given included it and given to you. In that package, are people buying more, or people are buying more where it is cheap? So using the data analytics, they can also mobile network operators can also get benefit. And final one is healthcare organizations. Here what they can do is they can mine the patient data which they have with them to evaluate the effectiveness of treatment. Suppose for COVID-19 vaccine also, when it was released, they had 3 to 4 trial runs, correct? So here what they will happen is to all the patients, first set of patients, they would have done a trial run. So then with that help of that data, they'll see whether the vaccine is working effectively or not. So healthcare organizations can also use them. So these are the 4 application areas which are given in the book, and this is one of the questions that have been asked in the exam also. So any concept that you see in the book, do not take anything lightly. So next what you have is the insight. So they have given you an insight on what the data analytical process is. They have given you an insight on what the data analytical process is. Okay, so here, yes, so here this is nothing but this is a process that they have explained there. This is the process that they have explained there. This process is similar to the data mining process that I would have explained in chapter number 3. The video for the same has been uploaded earlier itself, so you can go and see that, and you'll be able to understand the entire process. Again, I would not want to repeat it. Okay, yes. So here the participants, who are the participants in data analytics process is this is the concept which has not been covered earlier. Yes, participants in data analytical process. So here there are 3 participants who are there in data analytical process. One is the data scientist. So who is the data scientist? The data scientist is the person who is going to build the software for doing the data analytics. He is the person who is going to build the software for doing the data analytics. That person is data scientist. Who is data engineer is whatever software that the scientist has built, he is going to use that in the practical world. He is going to use that in the practical world. So that is known as a data engineer, a person who is going to use something which has been already built. Finally is data analyst. Analyst is the person who is going to analyze whatever data they have got by doing the data processing. Okay, yeah, so these are the 3 people who are there. So this you will be able to learn later. Okay, so now we are going to move on to our next topic. We have now completed the data analytics topic. Yeah, I'm going to move on to the next topic, which is the business intelligence topic. Okay, so now what is business intelligence? So business intelligence, if you see what will happen is, now we can take the example of how intelligent business are. The later also, before also I told the example of this thing, the shoes, that if you go and search for shoes in Amazon, you will find it as a recommendation or on your Instagram. So that is more, rather than analyzing the data, okay, which they have, that is more of business intelligence, I can say, where what actually happens is that the system or the software which is there, it intelligently analyzes what the people are searching for or what the people are looking for, and according to that it will customize your experience. According to that it is going to customize your experience. For example, if you take the example of Netflix, how many people use Netflix here? Tell me, how many people use Netflix here? Regular users of Netflix, if anyone. Say yes if it's a yes, no if it's a no, but I would need to hear a few answers. Yes, no, no. Even if you're using, stop using it until your exams, for God's sake, okay? Yes. So what I was saying is Netflix. So people who are regular users of Netflix, you would be able to understand that Netflix is one of those OTP platforms which is using the business intelligence to a next level. That, you know, there was a survey conducted. I'll tell you what the survey was on first. So what Netflix usually does is that, suppose if you watch 1 or 2 movies, okay, what happens is it will go and understand the kind of genre of movies that you like. Okay, do you like, you know, rom-com movies, or do you like suspense thrillers, or do you like action movies, or do you like emotional movies, or do you like funny comedy movies? So whatever kind of movies you like, okay, depending on your watching pattern, what it is going to do is, from the next time it is going to start to show you recommendations. It is going to start to show you recommendations. And there was a survey taken on the same, asking people, you know, that Netflix, to the Netflix users, that Netflix shows you recommendations, correct? After once you have become, or once you have watched a quite good number of movies on Netflix, it will start showing you recommendation based on the user experience you have had earlier. Okay, so this is a business intelligence that it is doing so, and recommending the kind of movies you might like. They asked the users of Netflix whether actually this recommendation, whatever the Netflix was providing, were you happy with it or not? Whether do you think it is right, accurate or not? Okay, and what happened to a surprise was that 80% of the people using Netflix were happy with whatever was recommended to them. So this, what will happen is, this will in turn increase the watch time. This will in turn increase the watch time of Netflix, because people will continuously love whatever they have been recommended and keep watching them, correct? So this acted on a positive side for Netflix, and Netflix uses this business intelligence very beautifully. Then there is Coca-Cola company. So Coca-Cola company has a data, okay, of there are around 10 crore plus users who follow Coca-Cola on Facebook, I think. Yes. So what will happen is, anytime any of these users or any of these people who follow Coca-Cola posts a picture with the, 1 minute. Yes, posts a picture with the Coca-Cola bottle, it is going to notify the Coca-Cola team admins. It is going to notify them. Okay, so this is the kind of business intelligence that they have used. And what will happen is, so every time they are going to repost it, or maybe they'll send an email to this particular person that hope you had a great time, drinking it or whatever it is. So what happens here is, it improves the customer relationship here, because it will see that for a normal person, if a Coca-Cola brand, it's such a huge brand, if it is going to notice them and send them specialized emails or repost their pictures, and that's a huge thing for a customer, the next time he'll get more attracted to it, correct? So this is one way of how Coca-Cola uses business intelligence. So using business intelligence is nothing but, it is a technology driven process for analyzing the data and presenting actionable information. So not analyzing data is one thing, but you have to present the actionable information. That means the information which can be acted upon. Now, if there is an information that this person has posted a picture with a Coke bottle, with that information, now you can take action, whether you want to send him an email or whether you want to repost his picture or whatever is there. So presenting actionable information, and end users can make more informed business decisions. Okay, so the end users can make more informed decisions. Okay, so that is basically business intelligence. So what is the ultimate objective of business intelligence is that Went off. So here what the ultimate objective of business intelligence is that it wants to improve the timeliness and quality of information. Timeliness and quality of information in the sense, if I am entering into Netflix right now, if you are going to go and sit and analyze data, and if the people who are there are going to recommend me something, then that's going to take a lot of time. Now, if I'm going to complete a movie in 1 hour, in the next 5 minutes, I would need a new recommendation, so I can keep on sticking to that. This can only be one done by technology, because there are millions of users who are going to use the particular OTP platform, correct? So that is one thing, that it will improve the timeliness of the information that we get, and also the quality of information. Now, if 80% of the people on Netflix are happy with the recommendation, then there must be quality in that information, correct? Yes. So what does business intelligence reveals to us is that the position of the firm in comparison to its competitors. Until now, we were seeing it from a end user perspective. Now let's start seeing it from a company's perspective. Okay, from a business perspective, if you are going to see, then with the business intelligence that you have, you will be able to see what position you have in the firm in comparison to other competitors. You'll be able to see how better Amazon Prime is recommending and how better Netflix is recommending. Then changes in customer behavior because of the data that you have collected. Here, what will happen is, if the customer suddenly, you see there is a rise in the Squid Game series, in the recent times. So it will see that customers, are now more likely towards this game oriented or suspense or thriller or action oriented zone. Okay, and now if you, for example, in Amazon Prime, this movie called Sher Shah got very famous. So next time what will happen is, the business intelligence will work in such a way that, more patriotic movies it will try to tell. If suppose Netflix is producing a movie, then it will give information to Netflix that you see, this time Sher Shah performed very well. So next time when you're going to produce a movie, try to produce in that zone itself, like in the zone of either Squid Game or Sher Shah, and like that. Depending on the customer behavior changes, it will reveal information to you, and it will tell you the capabilities of the firm and the market conditions also, because you will have whole data of how the market is working, in which geography which kind of movies are watched, in what kind of place, or what kind of economical status of the people are in India, how much are they spending on Netflix, how much they are not spending, how much the time people are spending freely on Netflix, how much time they're productive or not productive. So many information you'll get. Okay, so how the markets are there in India also you'll get to know. Then the same way, the social, regulatory and political environment also you'll get to know, and what other firms in the market are doing, that information also you are going to have. Okay, yes. So then what are the benefits of business intelligence? Right now we studied what business intelligence reveals to us and what is the major objective of business intelligence. Can someone now tell me what is the major objective of business intelligence without seeing the text? There were two words which we read. Major objective of business intelligence. Two words. Can you guys answer without seeing the book? No? If you're not able to answer, then kindly be attentive. We just read it a minute back. If you can see here, it is a timeliness and quality of information. It is a timeliness and quality of information. So there's one person who have answered, and very good. Yes. So that's the kind of, attention you must have in the class, that once you read something, you must be able to retain it in your mind. Now, if I talk about data analytics, there we read that we must draw conclusions from it. When we read about business intelligence, we read that it was a technology driven process. So these are the kind of keywords, as when you read itself, it will get registered in your mind, and this is what you have to apply in your exam and come. Okay, yes. So benefits of business intelligence. So here what happens, due to that, the management will be able to take better decisions. That means next time you're producing a movie, what kind of movie you should produce. Internal business process will also get optimized, whether internally in the firm also you will get to know if what people are trying to purchase or what people are trying to see. So we will show that more or recommend that more or give discounts on that more. Okay, here, so that due to this your operational efficiency will also get improved and you will get a competitive advantage over your business rivals also. How Netflix has a competitive advantage over all the other OTT platforms. Okay, yes. Next is it will help companies to identify market trends. Now they are watching Squid Game, or now they are watching Shersha, and spot business problems that needs to be addressed. In case if other movies are not working well, what is the problem there? They would need to find out that and address it. Next is it will help you enhance the customer experience. I already told you using the recommendation that it is going to give, allowing the timely and appropriate response to customer problems and priorities. Okay, fine. Next is business intelligence technology. Now, what is the technology that is being used behind this business intelligence? So now, until now, we understood what is business intelligence. Now we are going to understand what is the technology that is being used behind this business intelligence. Okay. Suppose now, for example, first we'll see the technology. So these are the technologies here in this whole para. This is what they have explained, and here is just a summary of it. Okay, 1 second, guys. Just hold on for a minute. Yes, guys. So what I was saying, the business technology, what is the technology that is being used behind business intelligence? So they use OLAP. It is nothing but online processing. Okay, so here this is one in one another area. This is going to come there and explain you this. Data warehouse is one of the technology. You have a Hadoop system. Data warehouse in chapter number 3 I have discussed already. Hadoop system is nothing but here all the data will be stored. Then you have cloud computing, which will come in chapter number 4. Data mining again in chapter number 3. Text mining I have explained you. Predictive analysis again in chapter number 4 it will come. Data visualization software means that what it is going to do is it is going to give you information in the form of charts and other kind of visual data formats, so that it is easier for you for the data to be interpreted. So these are the different kinds of technologies that are used in business intelligence. Most of it we'll read it on the other chapters in detail. Okay, so business intelligence apps can be bought separately from different vendors. It is that business intelligence, if you want to, bring it as a part of your own system. If now, example, Netflix wants business intelligence in its system to be there, then either it can get it from all these apps, either it get it from different vendors and assemble it as one, or it can get a unified business technology also. Okay, so the platform example is ClickView, Tableau. Okay, so these are the other platforms. So this is nothing but the technology which is used in business intelligence. Now, example, if you would have seen Uber also, okay, Uber or Ola, whatever you use, you will see in the peak timings alone, the rate will be very high. There will be a surge in pricing at the peak hours alone. How does this happen? This happens because of business intelligence only, because they run business or they run the technology in such a way that what happens is in peak hours, as app themselves know that there's going to be a lot of what do you see, people are going to book and ride through it. So there will be a surge in pricing and they'll make advantage of that situation. Okay. So this was about your business intelligence. Okay. So I hope until this everything is clear. Now we are going to move on to the final topic which we have. And just give me a minute. Yes. Okay, fine. Yes. So the next one is business reporting and fundamentals of XBRL. So now today we have read about MIS. Then we studied about data analytics. Then we studied about business intelligence. Now we are going to study about business reporting and fundamentals of XBRL. Okay, so here first I'll tell you what is basically a business reporting or enterprise reporting. Okay, these are two names used for it. In exam, if they ask you tell about enterprise reporting, don't blink. It is nothing but your business reporting only. So it is nothing but so what you can do is the reports can be of two types. One can be external reports and the other can be your internal reports. Why is this not working? 1 minute. Just a second, please. Yes. So yes, what I was saying is there are two types of reporting that can happen. One is external reporting and the other one is internal reporting. What is external reporting is the public reporting that you do. For example, what is a public reporting that you can do? What we'll do is the banks will have to report to RBI. The listed companies will have to report to SEBI. All the companies that are usually there have to report to Ministry of Corporate Progress. 1 minute. Yes. So what I was saying is the public reporting that you do, okay, for the public which you do of operating and financial data, that your balance sheets, financial statements, or your CFS by a business enterprise, that will also come under business reporting and enterprise reporting only. That is one aspect of it. Usually when we say reporting, usually people relate it to the external aspect of it only, or the public reporting only. But here there is one more aspect, which is the internal aspect of it. Here what they do is regular provision of information to decision makers within an organization to support them in their work. So in the business, regularly if there is some reporting happening for so that the decision makers are able to get better at their jobs that they do daily, then that is also that reporting will also come under business reporting only. That reporting will also come under business reporting only. Okay, so here, yes. So here, what are the types of reports that can be there? Here, what are the types of reports that can be there is that first you have your financial and regulatory reporting. That is nothing but your balance sheet, profit and loss and cash flow statements. Then you have environmental social governance reporting, environmental social governance reporting, or it is also known as ESG reporting. This is nothing but you would have heard of CSR, corporate social responsibility, that the companies must do for the society. That for the society they must do something like a 2% of the revenue or 2% of the profit, and on aspects of that. So on that also, how much you have spent on the society, or how much you have spent for the environment factors, or how much you have spent on the welfare factors, that also report can be given. That is known as environmental social governance reporting. Finally, you have a third form, which is integrated reporting. So integrated reporting is nothing but where you also give the data of financial and regulatory, and also you give the ESG reporting, both together. If you see the financial statements of Reliance, they report both. They also give report on what the financial and regulatory is there, that is the balance sheets, P&L and cash flow statement. Reliance also gives reports about what it has done for the society, or how well it can do for the society, and all of those. So this is known as the integrated reporting, which is merging both of the above which are there. Okay, so these are the types of reports that can be there. Next, so organization. So organizations communicate the stakeholders about using these reports which they give, an organization. What is the organization trying to tell to its stakeholders? The organization will tell its mission, vision and objectives, its strategy, what it has. Then it will tell the governance, arrangements and risk management, which it is doing for the company so it can get better. Then what are the short-term and long-term strategies that the companies have, how it is going to make a trade-off between them. Then what is the financial, social and environmental performance of the company is, how much CSR it is spending on. So all of these things is what it is going to communicate. Organization is going to communicate to its stakeholder using the reports that it has generated. Okay. Next, why is business reporting important? So why is business reporting important is that first, see, there is this company and there are stakeholders. So the stakeholders can be of different forms. There might be internal stakeholder also, and there might be external stakeholder also. Who are the internal stakeholders? Shareholders are known as the internal stakeholders, whereas external stakeholders are the people like government, suppliers, society, and all of those people. So they are external stakeholders. So the company has to actually explain the business performance to its stakeholders, because stakeholders are the people who need to know it, right? So what the stakeholders will do is, it will suppose, once again, yes. So what will happen is, so stakeholders might, what happen is if they want more insight, if they are demanding greater insight into ESG, the company will have to give them the data. And what will happen is this will help the stakeholders to assess the performance and take better decisions. Suppose, if there is a Tata Group and Reliance Group, suppose these both companies, assume that these both companies are doing very well in the market. They are actually the equal in financial terms. They are equal in financial terms. Okay, now keeping all of these in mind, if given a choice, okay, if both Reliance and Tata has the same net worth, has the same business, has the same profit, has the same revenue, keeping all these aspects in mind, if given a choice to you, which company would you invest in? Or which company would looking forward, which company would you want to grow? Then usually if everything is the same, people would choose Tata, because Tata is the one which does more for the society. Okay, it is, as you would have always heard that Reliance is a money minded a business, whereas a Tata is a social business. Correct. So this does more for the company. So the stakeholders can, depending on whatever the ESG information or the financial information has been given to them, they can take proper decisions. Okay. So here now what we are going to study is, why is business reporting important? Why is business reporting important? It allows the organization to present a cohesive explanation, that means a detailed explanation of their business, and helps them engage with the external and internal stakeholders. So using these reports, what the organizations can do is they can give them from their side, they can give a detailed explanation of what their business is, how is it working, how well it can do in the future. And that way it is interacting, the businesses or the companies are interacting with the internal and external stakeholders. Okay, next is, it is crucial for stakeholders to assess the organizational performance and make informed decisions. Here itself I told you that it will help the stakeholders to take better decisions and have a better knowledge if the reporting has been done to them. Next is, so now what has happened is, various stakeholder groups are demanding increased ESG information, as well as greater insight onto how these factors affect financial performance and valuation. So what you will do is, you will usually get attached to a company who is doing well in the charity field, or doing well in the welfare field. Okay, because you will feel indirectly, if you are helping the company is going to help the what do we say, the society in general. Okay, so these things are there. So various stakeholder groups, what they do is, they usually demand this ESG information also, so that at that time this is beneficial. Next is, it will help you in taking better decision making. And this high quality business reporting is the heart of strong and sustainable businesses. Okay, so if there is good reporting, business reporting only, everything will work smoothly and effectively and operationally. Okay, so these are the this is the why. This is the why to your business reporting. Why do you need business reporting? So first 3 points were about stakeholders, and the rest 2 were the simple points. Okay, yes. So now we are going to move on to the next topic, which is XBRL, which is your XBRL. 1 minute. Yes. So I hope until this everything is clear to you, and now we are going to start studying the XBRL. This is one of like the most important and also interesting topics that you can combine this chapter. Okay. So now we will take 2 phases. First, what is the full form of XBRL is? Here it is written. Extensible business reporting language. Extensible business reporting language. Extensible, here X is the second letter of extensible, and you have BRL, XBRL. Okay, yes. So now if we all can see. Okay, so now right now if you take example of ours itself, so can you guys tell me what is your mother tongue in the comment box? What is your mother tongue? What is the language that you maybe usually speak usually? Tamil, Malayalam, Telugu. Tamil, Telugu. Okay. So these are the languages that usually See, the person who knows Tamil might not understand Malayalam. The person who understands Malayalam or speaks Malayalam might not understand Telugu, right? So this is like that now, but here, so here if you see, if suppose my mother tongue is Hindi, okay, but even though in spite of all these differences, we all are able to come together and understand and learn something, that is because we all have something in common, which is that we all understand English. We all understand English, right? So this is one of those languages which is, used worldwide, and all of us can understand it. Okay, so here it becomes easier for you also to comprehend and easier for me also to teach. So the same way, what happens is that in a from a company's perspective or from a perspective of a financial world, I'll give you an example here. So now suppose if there is company 1, company 2 and company 3. Okay, now what happens is all these 3 companies have to give their financial statements, to a credit rating company, suppose. So credit rating companies. Okay, so now these all have to give their financial statements to the credit rating companies, and what this credit rating companies will give is they'll give a score to all these companies. Okay, so now for this purpose, they are going to give their financial statements. Okay, now all these 3 companies have financial data. So whenever you give a score to someone, or whenever you're going to rank someone, okay, you would need to compare between all the 3 people's data. Now, if there is a athletic competition and if 3 athletes are going to run, and if I have to announce who is the first, second and third, I must know, I must know that what are the timings of these 3 athletes, okay, at what time they have completed that particular sprint or that particular race. Correct. So now here also, when you are going to give a credit rating or when you are going to rank a company on the basis of how good they are at credit terms, then in such case, you would need the data of all the 3 companies so that it can confirm and come to it can compare and come to a conclusion. Now, suppose all these 3 companies as a financial data, this company has given in its financial statements, they have a sundry creditors of suppose 100 crores. Now, the company number 2 has given in the financial that their accounts payable are of 150 crores. And finally, here in the third, they have given the same as other creditors. In the third financial statement, it is other creditors of 200 crores. Now, if you see, sundry creditors, accounts payable and other creditors, all these 3 are the same only. But what happens is, since they are using their own languages for reporting or their own terminologies for reporting, here what happens is that the same information has been split into 3. The same financial data has been split into 3. Okay, now when this credit rating company is going to collect all this information, trying to compare and give a rank, it will get very difficult for them, because now we are taking examples of 3 companies. There might be lakhs and lakhs of companies it is going to compare with. So what happened is, here they came up with the idea that, all these 3, what we are going to do is we are going to bring a common language. We are going to bring a standard language that all the companies all over the world have to use. This common language is what is known as XBRL, extensive business reporting language. So here, as you can see, this is what they have brought in. So here what they have told is this: suppose you can take that this is like a dictionary where you have a lot of terms. Okay, so here what you do is you'll give a common term that all the business should only name it as creditors. And then what we'll do is all of these will change their financial statements to creditors and then finally submit it to the credit rating company, so that this is able to take better decisions or give better rankings. Correct. Yes. So here this is nothing but this XBRL which is there, this is an international language. Okay, this is an international language, and it is also a standard language for business reporting. Okay, this XBRL language is usually mission readable. Because hundreds of data, the humans are not going to sit and study or sit and compare. Correct. So this language is mission readable language, and this is XML based. Okay, this is an XML based language. Yes. So here what will happen is that Now here, this is what the language, here this creditor, the term which has come out of the XBRL, this term can be called as either an element, you can call this an element, or a definition in dictionary, or you can also call it as taxonomy. Say it as taxonomy that will best represent these financial data. This is the Creditas is the taxonomy which will represent this data, financial data at its best. Okay, so this was the use of XBRL, that whenever you are going to compare information, it is same or similar throughout all the financial statements, so it's easier. So you can see XBRL is a open international standard for digital business reporting. This XBRL is managed by a global non-profit organization known as the XBRL International. Okay, so these are the people who add the words or who add the elements in the financial reporting world. Okay, so XBRL is used around the world in more than 50 countries. So the XBRL format, what they use is usually used to simplify the way that the people can use, share and analyze and add value to the data. Because people who in India might write it as trade payable, in US they might write it as creditors. So they can be different. So now if it is all the same, then it's easier for all over the people all over the world to understand and also interpret the information given. Okay, so XBRL is also termed as barcodes for reporting. It is also known as the barcodes for reporting. Now, as you have a barcode for an item, the same way this is a barcode for reporting. That this is the term that you have to use to represent this item. Okay, yes. So next we are going to read a word which is known as XBRL tagging. So until this, I hope it is clear. Okay. So XBRL tagging. So what is XBRL tagging is whatever financial data you have. The financial data that you have here, we had financial data, right? So this is the financial data that you have, and this financial data you are linking it. This financial data you are linking it with the taxonomy, with an accounting taxonomy, or linking it with the element. So that is known as XBRL tagging. You will tag different financial data with the appropriate element in an accounting taxonomy, with the appropriate element in an accounting taxonomy, which will best represent the data. Okay, which is going to in best manner represent the data that has been given. Okay, so here they are telling that all XBRL reports use the same taxonomy only. The numbers associated with the same elements are comparable. So here now what will happen is, even though these were all similar numbers, this wasn't comparable due to their names. Now since it has all come under creditors, numbers under different financial data are now comparable. Correct. Are comparable irrespective of how they are described by the releasing financial statement. That is, it doesn't matter first how the financial statements were came and made or named. Right now it has been changed to a taxonomy, right? So now it doesn't matter whether what they had, the name was there during the preparation time. Now it has been changed, and now we can easily compare, classify and interpret the data. Okay, so yes guys, so we have come towards the end of the video. So this was your chapter number 2 of EIS, and I hope this chapter has become more conceptually stronger for you all, and I hope I have done justice to this chapter. If you like this video and if you enjoy the lecture, please make sure to leave a comment down below, like the video, and also share and subscribe to the channel. And don't forget to also click on the bell icon so you get notified every time I post a new video. Thank you.